Welcome to Up, and Away, the restaurant marketing podcast, saving the world from bad marketing, brought to you by Kubrick's, the all-in-one platform for loyalty and customer engagement. In today's topic, we're going to talk about something Arun and I are both very, very passionate about: customer segmentation and targeting. Why is it important to understand who your customers are, how to segment, and what to do with these segments? Now, we have Arun. He's the founder and CEO of Kubrick's. He's a tech veteran with over 2 decades of experience. For Kubrick's, he was the principal data scientist and architect for developing Starbucks' personalized customer engagement platform. And I'm Rev Ciencio. Hi, hospitality marketing consultant, tech evangelist, content creator, co-founder, and CMO of Handcraft Burgers and Brew in New York City. Now, let's talk about segmentation. Okay, you've definitely heard about it. You've heard somebody talk about it, but what exactly is segmentation? It's not just some fancy marketing term. In fact, in the brand new State of Independent Restaurants report from Nation's Restaurant News and Unilever Food Solutions, which if you haven't read, you should read. I wrote a blog post on that last month. You should go check it out. They cite segmentation as a key component to successful growth through marketing. And with that is, again, the State of Independent Restaurants. This is not something that they're saying that McDonald's needs. They're saying that every restaurant and every corner needs to be thinking about this, okay? When you see an ad on social media for a restaurant that appeals to you, how do you think they found you? Okay, that is targeted marketing. And the best way to target is to know who your guest is, because they can find out more about people like that. But once they come in, once you get the guest into your restaurant, how do you get them to come back? That, my friends, that right there is segmentation. Okay, enough fancy marketing speak. I can go deep on that. Let's get into it. This episode, we're going to deep dive way into customer segmentation and explore how it can transform in your restaurant business. Arun, you, my friend, you're like the genie, the master, the warlock, the Merlin. You're the king Viking of segmentation. What is the most valuable segment of a restaurant's customer base?
Good question. So let's say it's not one most valuable, but there are some of the most canonical segments, most commonly used segments, which is like the 101 of segmentation, which are some of it are who are your lapsed customers? Who are my at-risk customers who have not been in my restaurant for the last 30 days or 60 days? Who are my big spending customers who are less price sensitive? Possibly I can do more upsell to those customers, and customers who might seek more premium experience. Who are my loyal customers? So that's one segment. Who are the new customers? So these are all some of the most canonical segments based out of their RFM recency, frequency, and monetary value metrics. And you must have these essential segments always. And if you don't have it, that basically means is that you're not able to think strategically about customers, and you're not able to transition and take care of customer retention.
Okay, I'm going to play devil's advocate here for the sake of the conversation. I would say, as an operator and somebody who's a part of the business, that we should treat every guest like they're our best guest, right? And I'm sure if you polled every restaurant operator on the planet, they would all 10 out of 10, everybody would agree. Okay, so what makes those segments more important than every guest?
I think you're right? Every customer, every guest is equally and most important. So these segments are important more from a retention point of view, more from how do you think strategically about who your customers are, how I can engage them. And all these segments require different kind of treatment to them in terms of engagement. For example, you have a new customer segment. How do your objective is different. Your objective is to transition those new customers, give them rich experience, incentivize them to come back again, eventually transition them to your loyal customer. Your objective with an at-risk or a lapsed customer is to win them back. Your objective on a loyal customer is to make them continue to them loyal. You can ask them for customer feedback. You can your objective could be introduce more products to them, more food and beverage items to them, and with hopefully to increase your ticket size. So to come to your question, these segments define how you engage, how you think about those customers, what are your strategic objectives are when it comes to retention.
Amen. I'm going to simplify that into a slightly different perspective. Acquisition costs dollars, retention costs pennies, right?
Exactly.
It's really difficult and expensive to get a guest to come dine with you the first time. And I think the statistic is something like 70% of all restaurant guests only ever dine at a restaurant once, right? So arguably the biggest opportunity is somebody who's already eaten there, right? You don't have to convince somebody that the food's good. They've already had it, right? And so I think most of the segments that you just went through there, I don't remember all of them. It's early, but essentially they were people who've already been there, right? And it's like, what can you do to get them to come again? Because again, if they probably liked it, right? If you are listening to a podcast like this, or you're watching one of our videos, you're probably a pretty good operator, right? So let's assume that you have good operations. Let's assume you have good food, right? If 70% of your restaurant guests have been there one time, if you could get half of them to come back, you'd have an amazing year, right?
Exactly. And one thing, segmentation is one of the first step towards thinking about who your customers are. If you have ever thought, hey, who are my customers, right? Who are they? Are they young? Are they old? Are they rich? Are those customers tends to come more on lunch or versus breakfast? The moment you ask that question, who are my customers are, segmentation naturally comes in, right? So that segmentation enables you to answer that question, who my customers are. The next question you will naturally have, okay, I know who my customers are. How do I engage with them? What is difference between those customers? How do I treat them? What is difference between my young customers' choices versus my older customers' choices? Is my ticket size higher in breakfast versus whether it's lunch? Do I see a drop in particular segments spending habit on a particular month or a week? Are there any particular characteristics? So the moment you start thinking strategically about retention, segmentation is a natural component to that, and then it is an essential. I mean, without segmentation, you cannot move forward. It just organically and naturally fits into your thought process.
Sure. And look, we this is a marketing podcast. We're coming at this from a marketing perspective, right? But again, you can make operational and menu decisions based if you know your customers, right? It doesn't just have to be marketing. Like at the burger shop, guess what our number one selling item is of all time? Guess.
Price.
Yep, 1,000%. We sell 4x more fries than our most popular burger. Why? Because everybody orders fries with their burger, right? So when we looked at that data, we thought, what does this tell us? We should probably have combo meals, right? We'd like to sell more soda because soda or beverages has a high margin, and it's operationally, it's very simple. You just grab one off the shelf, right? It's a value to us to get you to buy a soda. You're going to get the fries anyway, so we'll give you like a 25-cent discount called a combo. Boom. It's not even marketing. That's just menu innovation. That's just business innovation. And we
Exactly
got to that by looking at segmentation, right?
Exactly. I mean, from an operation perspective, let's say your burgers are high in inventory and you need to sell some of them off, maybe give some discounts, promotions. Now, your question, whom do I sell it? Do I just sell it to everyone, or do I have a targeted campaign, and who the audience is? Your natural answer, people who have been buying burgers before, who have been spending high on burgers. That is your segment, right? So the segment can have very wide definition. It can be very wide, or it can be very precisely narrowed. My segment could be people who have been spending $50 to $100 on burgers for breakfast. That could be a very narrowed segment. And you can have a very specific strategy to engage with those customers, to have a particular marketing campaign for those customers, correct? So where I'm coming from is that even from an operations, marketing, every aspect, whenever you think about a grouping of customers or even products, and then apply some specific strategy towards products of customers, segmentation naturally comes in.
Hey man, you know what one of my favorite segments at the burger shop is, and I can't believe this segment exists? People who've never ordered fries.
Yeah, of course. That's like me, right? People who ordered something, or people who have not ordered something. It's very easy. People who have never ordered fries, get them buy fries. So
For sure. All right, so I'm going to answer the same question I asked you before we move on. I said, what's the most valuable segment to a restaurant customers database? I believe it is new customers, right? If somebody walks through the door, okay, you have to get them to come back. And the easiest, best way to get them to come back is collect their email address so you can market to them, right? And so new customer segmentation is easy. It doesn't matter, again, if you're the biggest chain on the planet or an independent operator. If somebody entered your database, you know, right? They made a reservation, they placed an online order, they signed up email via Wi-Fi, they joined your whatever. There's an easy way to signal a new customer, and there's an easy way to automate marketing to them. So that's why I like it, because it's easy to understand, it's easy to maximize, it's easy to market to, and anybody can do it. That's why it's my favorite. It's also the stats show for restaurants who have a welcome email flow, meaning I've entered the database, I start getting a series of emails about the restaurant, who we are, what we do, et cetera, what's on our menu. Restaurants that have a welcome email automation have a 33% higher 30-day return rate. And if all I have to do is write a couple of emails that automate to get a higher 30-day return rate, why wouldn't I do it? You know what I mean?
exactly. And you mentioned automation, right? So you'll have different kind of automations to address different kind of segments. So once you identify segments, next thing is, okay, how I build automated journeys for this segment. So you'll have a new customer segment automation. You'll have a loyal customer automation. You'll have an automation for people who like burgers. You can have an automation for my lapsed customer. After segmentation, you'll think, how do I treat them? Then that's where the automation comes. So you create specific automations to engage with these different segments. So three important part. One, identifying segment. Second, identify your objective to deal with that segment. What do you do with that segment, right? So new customer, your objective is to transition them to a loyal customer. So you establish specific objectives, business objectives for those segments. Third, create automations to achieve those objectives.
For sure. All right. Before we go a little deeper in that, I want to talk quickly a little about this State of Independent Restaurants report from Nation's Restaurant News. You've read it. I've read it. We've all read it. There's a lot of information in there. They identified paid social media, buying ads on Facebook and Instagram, or TikTok, I guess, as a top strategy, right? But then email marketing was literally 1% behind that. 1%. Okay. To me, that says you need to know who to market to, and then you need to know how to get them back. So if paid ads is number one and email is like right below it, both of those things are powered by segmentation, right? You don't just throw out an ad and say, show this to everybody. You got to look, if you know who your customers are, right? If you look through your database, you know, people mostly dine for lunch. They like French fries. They live in a particular geographic, all those types of things. That allows you to know what to do with the ad, right? That's the type of information your segmentation can power what you're going to do in the ad. And so both of those things, email and paid social, you have to segment. You have to know who your guests are, right? The report also said in all, approximately 4 in 5 survey respondents, they prioritize a demographic group for the restaurant's marketing efforts, right? Again, so I'm going to say that another way. NRN ran this poll. They asked a whole bunch of restaurants their opinion, and 4 out of 5, 80% of people said that they have to know demographics to be able to market. And so if your restaurant is not currently segmenting and understanding your marketing, like, you're leaving money on the table. Like,
exactly.
This is super important. If you were going to go and let's say I was going to give you my data, and I actually have before, what would be like 3 demographic or firmographic or purchase signals you would look for? Like, somebody who's just getting started with segmentation, what are like 3 key signals to look for?
Oh, you mean 3 key signals the restaurant operator needs to look for segmentation?
I've never segmented before. I'm going to pull some data from my database. What are like 3 segments that I can look for right out of the bat that helps me understand my guest?
Yeah. So one is your basic demographic segmentation. If it's your age, gender, income, location, etc. You can have your purchase behavior, purchase pattern based segmentation, what they're buying, their purchase frequency, how much they're spending, how often they come, what products they are spending on. So this is all into the purchase based segmentation. So these 2 data typically you will be able to collect as a first party data, and that finally, like, you'll have more like a lifestyle interest, or more like a psychographic segmentation. So often you probably will not be able to infer these directly from your customer. Like you can't ask your customer what's your lifestyle. And that's where typically engagement through social media and then signals from social media, if you mix that into your retention strategy and then get some psychographic segmentation.
By the way, you know what's another really easy way to come up with segmentation to understand more about your guests?
Tell me.
Run a poll. Like you don't even have to rip open your POS. You don't have to analyze any data. You can literally have a Gmail account, create a Google poll, ask 10 questions. You know, do you live or work near the restaurant? You know, are you a parent? Yes or no? Do you eat lunch or like you can literally just in 5 minutes create a poll, free Google poll, send an email to your guests and be like, hey, anybody who answers this, enter your email today and you're entered to win a $50 gift card. Segmentation, right? It's so easy. You don't have to be an Arun. You don't have to be a data scientist, right? You don't have to be a rev, somebody who's done this for years and years and years. You could literally just go run a poll. You know what I mean?
Right. That could be a good beginning when you don't have anything else in place, right? So one of the barriers of segmentation is that a lot of restaurants don't have a framework to capture and understand the customer data. They don't even know who their customers are. And when you don't have that, basically means you don't have a retention strategy in place. Without some sort of a framework to capture customer data, retention is gone out of the roof. So that means you probably will need to have a way to capture customer data. It could be basic, asking emails, SMS, customer name, but that will be a little more rudimentary. And that's the reason why it makes sense to put some sort of a basic loyalty program in place. At least that creates a framework, right? That gives you a reason for customers to share their details that you have a loyalty program. In the absence of something like a loyalty program, it becomes very difficult. Like every time you need to keep asking, the name and email, etc., and customers can get irritated because of that. So if you create a basic loyalty program, incentivize customers to onboard the program, and then have things like some basic scanning, your QR code scanning. And nowadays you can actually have digital QR code, which you can put that into Google and Apple Wallet. That makes it a very seamless experience. You don't even need to have your own loyalty app nowadays. So this, having that without any such framework, it becomes hard. You can't get enough customer data.
Okay, so we've walked really quickly through a lot of stuff here, like a lot of stuff. For somebody who's going to get started with segmentation now, or somebody who's like stuck with segmentation, right? What would you say is the first thing they should try? Okay, I'm gonna get started on segmentation today, right? What's the first goal I should have? Is it understanding my guests? Is it marketing? Is it menu innovation? Like, there's a lot I could do, but like, what should I be attacking for?
I think on day one is basic: capture customer data. Right? Customer data means who the customer is, what's the email, what's the phone number, how I can reach him back. One, and then for how can I associate every purchase with a customer? If I know that this person X is the one who is making this purchase, I think 80% of my job is done in segmented. Once you capture the data, then now you need to have tools in place to enable you to do segmentation automation. That's you can have any decent retention marketing tool run on top of the data, but data collection, I would say that is the first thing.
Okay, so I'm collecting data now. However I'm doing it. Could be email, could be Wi-Fi, could be loyalty, could be my Google poll, whatever. I'm collecting data. How do I start sifting through it? What should I look for? I mean, I can look for a lot of things, but what would be some things you would tell me to look for?
Now, once you collect the data, now that means you will have a place where you have organized and structured your data. Now, if you on your very rudimentary, the data could be in an Excel sheet, and then you probably will be doing basic an Excel sheet based pure segmentation. You do some hire an Excel wizard and then let him organize. Okay, organize these customers into customers who have made 0 to 5 purchases, which potentially could be your new customers, customers who have been there for more than six months at a stretch, which could be your loyal customers. You can just start from there and have a very spreadsheet-based segmentation at a very rudimentary level. And even though I wouldn't advise it, but that's still a good place to start with. And then say that, okay, and then download each of these segments into separate CSV files, and then upload that into some sort of email marketing tool, and then create your campaigns there. That could be a very rudimentary, but you can even get started from there. But the next level, the better way to do it is that have some sort of a retention marketing platform which will take care of these processes automatically. It will have its own email campaign, campaign manager, automation, segmentation tool, etc. Right now, going one step further, if you have a loyalty program, then it becomes all the more seamless, right? So customers comes in, you'll ask the customers to enroll in the program. You'll send them likely a digital loyalty card, and they will store that in your Google or Apple wallet. Next time as they come, if you immediately scan the card, that means that at that point, that purchase gets associated with a customer. You probably have everything you need to do a decent retention marketing program.
That is sort of a new and interesting idea, is like the whole Apple Wallet thing.
Yeah.
Have you seen this to be, assuming you've seen this to be effective, otherwise you wouldn't have suggested it. What are some things to look for? Like, how would a restaurant think about onboarding something like that?
It's easy enough nowadays. Apple Wallet and Google Wallet they've advanced enough, so you can have, if you're just looking for loyalty, and to say you're not looking for online or any of this, if you need to have a decent loyalty system, once the enrollment happens, and they will be issued a loyalty card. It's a digital card, with a QR code. They will put that into the Apple Wallet or Google Wallet, and they will see their basic things like how many points they have earned. If you have a tier-based loyalty program, it will also you can put tiers there, etc. So the customer can see what his loyalty status is there. Moreover, Apple Wallet, I believe, has got ability to automatically send a push notification if the customer is nearby your store. You don't need, so that kind of does a lot of things what an app would have done for you, your own app, right? So you can program it such a way that if the customer has downloaded the Apple your loyalty card into the Apple Wallet, it can give you a push notification based on your location. If you're nearby, you can actually tell you. You can also tell you that, hey, you earned so many points, and you can burn it. So yeah, so that gives you that's the Apple Wallet thing. And yeah, so that means you don't need an app nowadays. If you're an independent restaurant, this is very beneficial for independent restaurants who traditionally has been struggling with the fact that either they don't have an app, because of that they are not able to capture customer data, or even if they have an app, people are not downloading it. So your solution is to go through this digital QR code, Apple Wallet or Google Wallet thing.
Okay, so would that be something I'm getting from a POS provider? Do I need to get that from a third party? Like, how do I get this Apple Wallet loyalty?
Typically that comes with your retention marketing platform. For example, like a lot of customers, Kubrick's customers, they're interested in these features, and we offer that. So typically that comes from your loyalty platform. And the POS platform will enable the QR code scanning functionality, so that if you have a QR code scanner, and if you scan that, the POS should be able to capture that. So that's where the POS. So when you select a POS, you should be able to ask this question: hey, can a QR code scanner will work it? And then the POS can have APIs to capture the results of the QR code scanning.
Right. So I would need some sort of scanner.
Yes, that you can buy. The scanner have hardware you can buy from anywhere, but you need to ensure that that scanner is compatible with your POS, and then POS can capture the results of the QR code scanning. So nowadays the advanced POS systems have got that in place, and then your loyalty system, and then your loyalty system has to be incompatible with that POS system too.
Sure. And I think a lot of restaurants would be like, oh, I don't want a scanner. People don't like scanning stuff. I mean, here it is. There's my Wawa app right in my Apple Wallet, my Wawa card. Like I walk into Wawa, I want my points, bang, it's right there in my wallet. You know what I mean? Like, and if anybody here has been to Dunkin' or Starbucks or, any of these really high frequency, type restaurants, boom, right there.
Yeah, I think people are now
people are totally fine with scanning.
Yeah, people are totally, they're used to that scanning part. I mean, sometimes I've seen customers, who act the other ways. Hey, do you have a program? Can I get a card so that you can scan it? I mean, people getting so used to that. The idea of loyalty and reward points is so omnipresent that customers are asking to have it actually.
Yeah, and I'm not going to run across the room and grab my wallet and pull out all the little plastic like ShopRite cards, but I've been having those little key cards on my wallet, my keychain for decades now. Like I think Target, Walmart, CVS, ShopRite, like people are okay with scanning. I don't think it's an issue. Now, do I think fine dining restaurants should be scanning QR codes? But if you're fast casual QSR, like absolutely, there's no question. And that is a good way. Again, going back to the topic here, segmentation. The more I know about my guest, right, the more data I can collect, the more I can understand their habits, and the more I can do. Can I tell you my favorite segment I've ever run? Now, you do need some technology to do this. This is my favorite segment I've ever run. Okay, at the burger shop, we analyzed what are the top 10 food items that anybody who's ever only dined here once has ordered. If you've only ever come in once, which is a massive customer segment, what are the top 10 items? Okay, we got them. I then used my technology. I went back in. I said, okay, I want to see the top 10 items for people who have dined here at least 5 times, right? So a one-timer to literally my best guess. Now, the difference between those two lists, now we have a small menu. It's not a lot in there. How many items of difference do you think there were?
3 to 4. 2, okay.
Okay. The top 10 for one-timers and the top 10 for 5-timers, there was only 2 items difference. Okay. It's our deep fried hot dog and our chicken sandwich. There we go, some balloons. But what does that tell me? That tells me that people who frequent my restaurant, who come there a lot, they gravitate towards other things on the menu, right? And think about all the restaurants that you as a human go to more frequently. Like the pizza place I go to, I don't get cheese slices anymore. You know what I mean? I found other things on their menu that really I like a whole lot better. And now when I go to Farazzoli's Italian Kitchen over here, I'm ordering the chicken Farazzoli grilled over, like, you know what I'm saying? Those 2 items, to me, the difference in those 2 lists, those are retention items. Okay. So what do I do with that? I increase the marketing of my retention items so that people who come in the first time or the second time are pushed quicker to the items that guests who come frequently more like. My favorite segment I've ever run.
That is a very important strategy. Like, so when I was doing a lot of data science work earlier, one of the things which we look is the product span, like the total number of different unique products people are buying, the new customers versus the most ardent customers buying. And see exactly what you said, how many products and which are those products. Typically, the more products customers get into the habit of buying more different type of products, they tend to be more loyal. Okay, so one of the critical strategy is introducing new popular products to your new customers, and also products which need not be popular, but if you can find out what they could be liking, introducing that product also. Now, one of the way you can find out what they could be liking is based on what they have been purchasing. Let's say a customer made 5 different purchases so far. From your data, you can get into some sort of inference saying that, hey, this customer's made these product purchases, so this could be the other products you could be liking. So based on data, you can actually infer. So one of the simple strategies is just give him popular products, right? As to what drives it. If I understand what is the what are the difference in products, where the new products versus customers who made 5 or 6 or 10 purchases made, and then find the delta and introduce those products to your new customers. Also, you can get further from the data and then actually say for each of the customer, what could be the personalized product recommendation for those new customers, right? So bottom line, it's a very interesting and important strategy of introducing new and interesting products to your new customers, and then transition them from new customers to a loyal customer.
Sure. So I'm going to take that one step further and then we'll wrap it up. If you know what your retention items are, right, you can introduce them to your customers earlier in their journey, like you just said, right? You can increase the marketing of them in your earn and your social channels, your email. So like the awareness of that, right? But also it helps with like product innovation. It's like, okay, well, if I know that like the people that really like coming here like this deep fried hot dog, what else can I do with the deep fried hot dog that maybe turns them from a 5-time guest to a 7-time guest? You know what I mean? There's so much to do. And look, we obviously we could go deep on this and we go for hours and hours. We're already kind of over the limit. So I'm going to cut it there. But
let me say one more thing.
Go.
For every customer throughout their life cycle, there is always an answer to what else I can do to those customers to make it better. There's always. Okay. I mean, we can talk about that in a different podcast, but yes, that comes things like gamification, increasing ticket size, and a lot of other things. But yeah.
Absolutely. But don't give away free hot dogs. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. If you enjoyed this conversation, can you please share this episode with a friend who might also find it helpful? Remember to give us a rating right now. That really helps spread the word to others who might find this valuable just like you do. And on the next episode, we're going to talk about gift cards and how to turn them into profit. I'm super excited about this. I know we're just past the holiday season. Now's a good time to reflect and plan for that. I had a client, Arun, who did $18,000 in sales at one location for gift cards. I've never seen anything like it. I definitely want to share that. We'll share that on the episode. Right,
yeah,
guys.
We need to have an episode just on that story.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll get him anyway. That's on the next episode, guys. Make sure to hit subscribe on your favorite podcast player so you don't miss out on the next episode from us. Cheers.
Bye.